Hey guys, what's up? JJJBoxing here. So we got a fight September 30th, pay-per-view. Saul Canelo Alvarez versus Jermell Charlo. Lions only. But we got a fight, and it's interesting because Jermell is the smaller brother, not Jermall, and he is coming up. He is undisputed at 154. Obviously, he's never fought anyone like Canelo. He's never fought guys on the resume of Canelo, even. And he's challenging himself, so you have to give him respect there. Obviously, it's a big payday. And, yeah, we're going to see how he does against King Canelo at 168. That 2 weight classes above his own. Obviously, traditionally, it would only be like 1 weight class. It would be like 147 to like 160. But we got all these small weight classes now, 154, 168. So it's like, it's not as big as a deal as it seems, to be honest. It is only, 14 pounds. So it's not that big of a deal, really. And on top of that, it's still impressive, though. Like, I'm not going to say it's not. I'm just saying it's not as big as a deal as we make it sometimes. It's really only 1 division. If you're going by the traditional divisions. But another thing to add is Charlo is not small for 154. He is big. He is, I think, 6 foot or over, and he's got very good reach. So his body is actually pretty good for that, even 168. I would say 160 would be good for him, but 168 is even okay for him. He's not going to be a small 168 either. He's going to be a regular sized 168. He's 6 foot, I think, and he's 73-inch reach, according to BoxRec. So he's got decent KO power. He's not a crazy puncher, but he does everything well. He doesn't do anything extraordinary, like, from what I've seen from him. To be honest, guys, I'm not the foremost expert on the Charlos brothers. I've never really followed them as much as other champions, to be honest. Their fights have never really intrigued me. And the 154-pound division just never really intrigued me, to be honest. So I would have to watch a lot more tape. But from what I've seen from Charlo, he does everything well, but nothing like extraordinary. Whereas Canelo does some things very well, like his combination punching is one of the best I've seen in a while in Canelo. And obviously his body shots, the hooks to the body, are deadly from Canelo. Very just strong and sturdy. But like I said, Charlo, he does everything good. He's technically sound, decent power. So this is going to be interesting because I would say there's less wear and tear on Charlo, and Canelo has more wear and tear on his body. He's been through those wars with Gennady Golovkin. He's been in tough fights with Cotto, Lara. Even Trout was kind of difficult. Obviously, those are all just learning experience, but I would say the Triple G fights probably took a lot out of him. And we forget that he's been fighting tough opponents, like, day in, day out. He's been, like, it's wear and tear, and he's been doing it since 15 years old, I think. He's been doing it for a long, long time. Like, 2005, that's when he's been doing it. And he started at 140, and he made it up all the way to 168, so it is impressive. But if you look at his resume, like Golovkin, Dimitri Bivol, Caleb Plant, Billy Joe Saunders, Callum Smith, Sergey Kovalev, Daniel Jacobs, Gennady Golovkin, Rocky Fielding, Liam Smith, Julio Cesar Chavez is not really that big of a deal. Miguel Cotto, like Erislandy Lara. All of these are great names. Like, even if you go further back to Alfredo Angulo, Austin Trout, Josecito Lopez. Obviously, Floyd Mayweather, he lost. Shane Mosley. Like, he has so many names on his resume. Even if he had tough fights with them, you got to give the guy respect for fighting them. So, but it takes a toll when you're fighting these top-level guys. It takes something out of you. Like Teddy Atlas says, a piece of you is gone each time you leave that ring. Whereas when you look at Jermell, look at his opponent list. Gabriel Rosado, everyone knows him. Okay. He's a decent fighter. He's tough, but he's not like an A-level fighter. He's like a B-level fighter, B-minus level fighter. But you got to give. He has heart. I like Gabe. But if you look at the other guys on his resume, he's got Tony Harrison, Austin Trout, Erickson Lubin, Brian Castano, and Jorge Cota. Like, those are his best names. And a lot of those guys are nowhere near Canelo's opponents. So, not to say that, like, I'm not trying to compare and saying that Charlo won't rise his level, which a lot of fighters, some fighters do that. They have, their resume's not that great, but they get the job done, and when the time comes, they raise their level. Like, you see it all the time. Well, not all the time, but you see it. Like, an example is Andre Ward did it against Kovalev. I didn't think he would even be able to compete with Kovalev, but he did. I thought he lost that first fight, but he competed with him. I thought he was going to get destroyed, considering what Kovalev was doing to his opponents, and that wasn't the case. So, and in the rematch, he raised his level even more. Obviously, you could say Kovalev was like just a drunk at that point, but drinking vodka in his training camps and stuff. But yeah, you got to give Charlo a shot, because he has something to prove. This is the biggest fight of his life, so you know he's going to come in the best shape possible. And yeah, like, I really do think that he's going to do better than people think. For a lot of people who think he's just going to get completely destroyed because he's coming up 154, which I don't think the weight will be an issue at all. If anything, he's going to be stronger, I think. The only thing that Canelo has an advantage is he's used to taking the heavier shots from the bigger guys. So that would be an advantage. But I don't think that Charlo's not going to be able to take the power from Canelo. I think he'll be able to take it, I think. He's not a small guy. Obviously, I could be wrong. Who knows? Until the fight happens, we won't know how his chin will respond. But I don't think the size will matter. Well, it's not even size, because he's bigger than Canelo, but I don't think the weight will negatively affect Charlo. I think he'll actually do better. But will Canelo's shots have more an effect on him? Right? We're going to find out, because Canelo's been beating on bigger guys, so how will Charlo respond to that? But yeah, so the way I see this fight going, and like I said, guys, I'm not an expert on Charlo. From what I've seen, it looks like he could do better than we think, just because he's that kind of guy that I feel like will raise his level. And I feel like if he boxes smartly and he uses just his tactical skills and he doesn't try to make it a brawl, I think he will do fine. And I don't know if he will win the fight, but I think he will win a lot of rounds. And don't be surprised if this fight ends up being a split decision in a very close fight, which could go either way. Don't be surprised if you see that. Yeah, so I would have to favor Canelo on the experience of being at this weight and this level. He's faced way greater fighters than Charlo has. You know this is a huge fight for Canelo as well. The John Ryder fight is that wouldn't get him up really. This fight will get Canelo up as well, because people have been clamoring for a Charlo brother to fight Canelo, and Canelo knows that, so he'll want to put on a show as well. So I think the fight could possibly go the distance, with possibly some knockdowns. I don't know. It's really hard to say. My prediction right now is going to be close fight. Canelo gets the win, maybe drops Charlo 1 or 2 times. That's going to be my prediction. But don't be surprised, guys, if we get some outrage at the decision of this fight if it's very close. But anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think of this fight. Give respect to Charlo for coming up in weight. And let me know your prediction on this fight. And thanks for watching. It's Triple J Boxing. Take care, guys.